I watched the preacher this morning. Had a lot of stuff right. And then I listened to him say, in the book it tells you that you have dominion. And then he said, that means dominance. Means you dominate everything. It's like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. But I also understand that you don't understand that dominion and dominance are two different things. You cannot dominate the universe. That's a tall order. That order is too big. You can cooperate and have dominion, meaning having the power to cooperate to generate that thing that you desire, the way that you desire life to be, if you so desire. But if you seek dominance, he used the example of a basketball team dominating somebody by 50 points. Okay, well, let's just look at that in terms of the law of creation. By 50 points. Guess what happens in the other side? In the other side, they're beginning to feel less than worthy. And that creates anger. So the next time they see you, they want to destroy you. So you have not created peace, you have not created harmony, but you have created disharmony because of your dominant attitude. In dominion, one cooperates with the universe. The universe. A funny term. One of the things I've said to you, you live and are surrounded by a sea of intelligence. Intelligence is every place. Every place. You are that intelligence if you allow the barriers to break down so that you can see. God, quote, God is that intelligence that you are. There's a movie I love. I think it's called Powder. Or maybe it's The Green Mile. I forget. But here's the line. Someone dies. The husband wants to know what happened. And the response was, she went out. But out where? Not where, just out. The intelligence is there. I mean, you can't say where because it's everywhere. So, out. This is what we are, and we perceive it through a particular spot in time and space. And we call that ourselves or our body. That's what we call it. Okay? It is simply a receiver station for all that is. So, I tell you, to misunderstand and to become comfortable with negativity puts you on one side of the scale. Look at all things in this way, and as I've said before, you exist upon a continuum. All things exist upon a continuum. You have 0, the absolute value point. You have plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 into infinity, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 into infinity on that scale. Now, here's what we do because we only see from the perspective of a person. We are on the positive side. If things aren't going that way, we drop down and we go to the negative side. What you have to understand that in truth, you have to stand at the middle and see both sides at the same time. And the way you do that is to stop seeing things through the smallness of the ego. That drops. So what is really going on here? How do you make peace when you stand opposite from the other person? Haven't you noticed that only creates war? Haven't you noticed that? If you want to create peace, you have to stand here and hear from both sides, or see from both sides. Then you learn to operate from this position. Okay? If things need to go to the right, you help them go to the right. If they need to go to the left, you help them go to the left. Anger. This is why it is important to understand that your insecurity, your fear, your doubt, your ego trip does not provide you with a means to create peace in the world. Yet we say we want peace. I want peace. But don't you understand that the sickest person in the world, mentally sick, is just a person who's sick? Now, do you really care? Does one really care about the world, or do you care only about your own position, which makes you as bad as they are? You want to create peace. You have to stand at a position where you see what is needed. I had an experience in New York I just kind of looked at. I give these 12 things that one should aspire to understand. One is speaking and listening. Speaking. The most godly thing at the wrong time is ungodly. When I say what is right in concept or in theory, at a moment that it will cause problems, it is the wrong thing to say. And we must stand at the position where we see and we shut up. Speaking and keeping silent. There's a time to do something else. There's a time to speak up. Okay? But we have to learn, this is what I've talked about, the continuum. Speaking and keeping silent are two extremes, are 2 points on the continuum. In order to know which time to do what, we must see them both at the same time. We must see from this perspective, from the perspective of godliness. Now, I keep using that word, but I don't want you to get confused of which God I'm talking about. Everybody's got a God, okay? I want you to see from the perspective of all that is. That is the intelligence that surrounds all things. The intelligence that is all things. If one's pursuit is honest, it is not difficult. But if one's pursuit is not honest, it becomes very difficult because I want to maintain my position. I want to maintain the position that I must protect myself. You stop and say, well, wait a minute, what was I doing? No matter what it is, it's about you and about your personal growth. That's my job. It is so difficult to get through all the crap because we want to maintain who we are. People are insecure. It is your job to free and liberate yourself from that insecurity so that you grow and see from a different perspective if you want to change things. Those of you who've been with me for quite a while heard me say years ago that you're entering the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment, the age of the breakdown of order. Again, on the continuum, the breakdown of order of what? The breakdown of order in the world, you're seeing it. You're seeing it. People shooting people, people killing people, people starving people, people whatever. The weather changing, you know, it won't be long, you won't have to retire and move to Phoenix. Phoenix will be here. Okay. Did you not notice the temperatures this year? You know, the breakdown of order because change is upon us. That can lead to destruction. Now let us talk about the other breakdown of order within an individual. The insanity is an order. The insanity inside one's head is an order. It leads to enlightenment, to break down the barriers and allow all that is to be, because it's already there. It's already here. You must see what is already here. It's not coming from any place. It's here. It's not coming from any place. Well, where does it come from? Oh, it doesn't come from any place. You just take off the blinders and see. You take off the blinders and see. The truth always has been, will always be. Otherwise, it is not true. Once you learn to look at the whole and not this side or that side, you see that what has always been, the truth has always been here, right before us. It is the belief by people, you hear them say it all the time, well, I'm only human. I want to look at you and say, cut the crap. That's not a limitation. Being what you are, being human is not a limitation. You must see it and learn to live with it. You must learn to accept it. I made the statement that I don't feel very well today. It's very difficult today. I'm making that statement because listen to what I'm saying to you. Listen to how I'm saying it. Do I seem like, oh, no. I am speaking to you. It is speaking to you right here, right now. All I'm saying is, here is your example. It doesn't put me here or anywhere. It just says, here is your example. When you are who you are, when you are what you truly are as opposed to one side or the other. And yes, there are things that you are going to lose. Ways of responding to each other, ways of reacting to each other. Those selfish ways that we have, you know, those things are going to go. You, in order for you to understand, you must let them go. That doesn't mean you don't do something. Remember, I said it is the attachment to the thing that you have to let go. That doesn't mean you don't do something. One of the major misunderstandings, if we look at this thing, we say, well, I'm going to peace and violence is out. You know, I can't, whatever you do to me is okay. That's bullshit. For me. Why? I have the right to live in balance. I do not deny this, nor do I deny that which is my spirit. That is balance. This is the temple. As a monk, I reserve the right to defend the temple in which I reside. So I'm not just going to let the villagers come up with a bunch of torches and stuff and burn down the... No, we're not going to do that. You may burn it down, but there's kind of a price to pay for that. My grandmother used to say, son, always remember, to beat ass, you got to bring ass. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? It's not going to be given. That's okay. It is not okay to do that with malice, with anger, with hostility in your heart. That's not okay. Not against some law out here, but because of how it makes you feel inside. How it makes you feel inside. Not some boogeyman is going to get you. But when you operate with anger and hostility, the boogeyman already has you. That thing that you must fear the most already has you. Your insecurity, your doubt, your fear. It already has you. Hell is yours. It's already yours. This is hell. There is no place where you're going to go and get roasted over a spit. You know, the devil slapping barbecue sauce on you and stuff. Soaking you in, what do they call that stuff? You soak your meat in to tenderize? What is that? Marinate, yeah. Gonna marinate you so we can... Come on. God is not Walt Disney. Okay? This is not a cartoon life. You create your life by the way you see the world. When you look out at the world, what do you see? You see you. You see you. Your judgments about what it is. If you stand at that position of absolute value and you look, you will see an entirely different thing. An entirely different thing. So when you see rejection, it's because you are accustomed to feeling rejected. When you see rejection, it is because you are accustomed to it inside. You create it. There are people that I can't help, because when they are given instruction, they take it as criticism. When all I'm saying to you is, here's the thing that causes you the problem. Deal with it so that you stop feeling the way you feel. One of the things you have to understand about this position, from this position, I recognize your equality. And your equality says to me, you don't want to hear it? It's okay. I don't care personally, so it's not a personal thing between you and I, because I don't really care. Because I believe in your right to be as brilliant or as stupid as you want to be. That's each individual choice. We have to establish a point, and I'm simply using this point between us. This point, there is nothing that anyone has that I want. So, what I'm saying to you is, I say it to you because of love. Because you've said, I'm tired of suffering. I want something different. And I say, okay. So that is our point. Our point is right here. The things I know about people, I know because they tell me. They will look at me and say certain things that have nothing to do with me, but have to do with their perception. And I say, okay. You are telling me about you. Because I will sit here and say, hey, this is the way it is in here. This is the way it is. And I'll get kind of rude and say things like, I don't have to lie to you because I don't care what you think. I don't care. I can be who I am, and this is what I'm saying to you. When you come to that space behind, when you rid yourself of this other stuff, now you can be who you are. Not when you bring insecurity, fear, rejection, doubt, all these things to the table. You are not being who you naturally are. That is a thing of the mind. Now, being that thing of the mind, it can never be correct. Even when it's right, it's wrong. Because it doesn't carry with it the scope of the understanding. The scope of the understanding comes from the feeling of it, the being of it, the pure being of it. And in the pure being of what you are, call it God if you will, call it whatever you will, Joe, Bob, Bill, doesn't matter. Call it whatever you want to call it, that's not it. But from that perspective, it has no doubt, fear, none of that. None of that. So when you lay a trip like that upon it, it's about you, not about it. That's your vision. So you have to come to that point where you understand the difference between your linear mind and that which you are. Now, anything you have to say about it is linear mind. It has not a clue. It's just automatic words, automatic processes, blah, 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 blah. It's like you hit a button on your computer, certain things happen. You hit a button on your computer, certain things happen. Automatically. Automatically. But when you stand back and you see these things, then the question is, wait a minute, wait. Who is looking at that thought? Who is thinking the thought? Whoa. I am thinking the thought. You see, when you are born, you're not born with words. You're born with the potential to understand words, to understand language. But that takes a process. Learning these words, because you have to speak. If you're born in America, you speak American. And I don't say English because we don't speak English. The English speak English. Okay. Americans, we have a bastardized form of English. So we speak American. You learn to speak. If you're born in France, you speak French. You're born in Greece, you speak Greek. You're born into a different subculture of any of it, you speak that language. I am an American of African descent born in the South. I say things like y'all. I try not to, depending on the spot I'm in and depending on who I'm trying to talk to. But every now and then I go to hell with it. Y'all better get your ass together. That's what I do. This is learned. It all says that it is learned. The child does not speak the language. Then, who is there? Who is there that can learn the language? Who that person is. So, we put too much stock into what we think about something instead of growing up and putting stock in that thing that is there, that learned. I am that which learned. I am that which learned to be an American. I am that which learned to be a Frenchman. I am that which learned to be a Russian. I am that which learned it. Now, if I am that which learned it, why am I giving all the power to that which has been learned? That doesn't make sense. I give it control of my entire being. My entire being. Wow.